Perfect. Welcome to Do It in Durham 2023. This is Durham Region's celebration of entrepreneurship, and it's held each November during Global Entrepreneurship Week. And this week it's November 13th to the 17th. Do It in Durham Entrepreneurship Week is a collaboration of Durham Region's business support, educational, and networking organizations who have come together to encourage and support entrepreneurs, job creators, and innovators, basically you guys who create economic growth in the region. If you're looking to start a business, invest in a business, grow a business, we encourage you to do it in the Durham region. Thank you to our amazing sponsors. Without their support and contribution, we could not host this week. So really, really, truly grateful. And without further ado, I have shared some more information in the chat with some hashtags to use. Please share the word about this experience and to help raise awareness and visibility that you are open for business and that, yes, there's support out there. So yes, Sara, it's all yours. I'm throwing it to you now. Take us away.
Thank you so much. And right now, Patrice is winning the betting pool on how many registrants would actually show up to this thing, because we had a lot, but she thinks about a quarter, a third will show up. So hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm Sara Norton. My background is I've been a marketing generalist for 13 years across a bunch of industries. And what that means as a generalist means I experiment with all types of marketing there are. But it was about 5 years ago that I found my favorite marketing channel of all time. That was email marketing automation. I learned that the ROI is incredible. I treat it like virtual relationship building at a larger scale than we can do one-on-one. And so from then on, even though I was still a generalist, I always made sure I had automation projects to work on. 3 years ago, I was laid off from the tech industry when COVID hit. I started dabbling in freelancing. I went back to corporate, worked for a big global software company. And then guess what? They laid me off this year too, alongside 2,500 of my colleagues. So I said, you know what? I'm taking my fate into my own hands. With the support of my husband, I'm going full-time, all in. And I quickly rebranded and launched REPLY-ALL.ca. So now I help small businesses, but also corporate marketing teams figure out the technology that they use, make it work better, automate where we can. And my goal is really about making marketing and technology less complex, because there's no shortage of tech. There's no shortage of marketing tools. If I can simplify that for you a little bit, then I think that's how we add power to small business growth and make it sustainable. You might hear my dogs barking in the background. My husband is not here. He cannot control the dogs. So they're just going to be collaborators on this. And I reside in Pickering. So I'm by the Pickering GO station. Anyone from Pickering on the call, I'm proud of it. All right, I would love to know, I know everyone's done like the intros in the chat, like we've done that on all of these sessions. So I thought I would love to add a unique question to the end of your intro. And that is, how does technology make you feel in a word or a couple of words? And especially business technology, because maybe you love tech in your personal life and your social media, but business tech, it gets a little bit more complicated, right? So I love seeing that Jane thinks it's useful. I love that Elisa, is that what I heard? Elisa, is it Elisa? Alyssa?
Alyssa.
It is? Okay, Alyssa. Either way, great. Alyssa's excited, but it is an overwhelming space. I get it. Quentin, it makes him busy, maybe. Good to know. All right, yeah, exactly. There is a lot of work up front in setting up technology. That's no lie. That's like why I do what I do. But the payoff over the long term can obviously save us a lot of time. Which is great, guys. Yeah. Seeing a lot of good, a lot of not so good, and that's exactly what I expected. So you're all here today to learn about a little bit about automation and AI. And really what I present about is tech tools that are affordable and fairly easy to use, that have some automation and AI capabilities so you can get started. And all of the solutions, and the way I format my presentation today is about categorizing into tech that helps you get customers, so helps with your marketing and sales, tech that helps you serve your customers better, makes projects a little bit easier on you, and tech that helps you get paid faster. I'll also give a caveat here that the tech I'm describing today, it's pretty universally relevant, but because I'm a service-based business, this is going to be most relevant for service-based businesses. If you want to learn more about e-commerce tech, some of the categories, you have your own set of e-commerce tech with Shopify and the apps that plug into it. I'll encourage you to get in touch with me, book a free call. We can go through some e-commerce recommendations if you need those. But hopefully you'll still find a lot of value in some of the other tech I'm educating on today. So here's my plan. If you look at the black section at the top here, I organized my presentation into 3 sections: the getting more customers, the happier customers, and the getting paid, managing your money a little bit better. In each of these sections, I'll start by giving you a couple of major tech tools that I personally have used and tested with my clients, and they follow a very strict criteria that I've made up for what makes good tech for small businesses. I'll tell you my criteria, I think, on the next slide. After I go over some tools and some actual names of apps and technologies, I'll give you very simple examples for what automation and AI can look like within these categories to get you thinking. And then I'll do a real demo, especially on the planning tool in the first category there. I'm going to dive into my own account and show you around. In the client relationship management system and the finance system, I can't show you mine because then you'd know all my information and that would probably be bad for data privacy. So I've just found the best videos I could find that are about a minute or 2 to show you the inside of some of these technologies, because I know they can all sound great on paper and then you get in there and it's a whole other thing. Will it be recorded? Reminder, yes, everything is recorded. Everything except in person, I think, is recorded this week. Will there be time in for Q&A? Yes, I should finish early enough to have some time for Q&A. I'm also pretty good at answering quick questions on the spot, so just throw it in the chat. I'll see if it's something I can rhyme off quickly, or we'll save it to the end. Look at that, Patrice, 30 registrants. I mean, 30 actually showed up. That's great. All right. So I like to lay this foundation before I start throwing all this tech at you. Let's start with some fundamentals that you can get started with right now. The key to implementing technology, but also figuring out what is it that you can automate, is simply asking yourself, what is really boring? What do you hate doing? Even if you have to do it for like 20 minutes a week, wouldn't it be nice to take that 20 minutes a week off your to-do list? What feels like a waste of your time because it's just admin work that you wish you could outsource, but you're not quite ready to outsource it yet? When I started noticing this and making notes of this, these are your automation possibilities. And sometimes they're only saving you 10 seconds, but that 10 seconds added up every day or every week over the year or years that you're in business, it can really add a lot of value. The second thing I'll say is that a good foundation about implementing technology tools, using them to their fullest, is using apps that are in the cloud. And I put Google here because I'm on the Google Office suite, so I know all the tools that I've tested and are talking about today play really well with Google. Most of them should play well with Microsoft too, as long as your Microsoft Office is cloud-based and not desktop-based. Okay, if you need clarification on that, again, we can talk about that at another time or in the chat. But if some of your programs or softwares are really like desktop based, you're downloading a file to get them, then sometimes they don't play very well with other apps. And you want them to be able to connect and share data where it makes sense to save you time. And finally, I am going to throw a lot of technology terms or technology options out there for you today. You don't need to frantically try to write down or save all of them, A, because Patrice is recording it, but B, I want you to just write down the 1 or 2 that really stand out to you while I'm presenting, because that's where you should start. Just start with 2, or start with the 2 that you already use. You just haven't integrated them to work better together. All right, here is my qualifications for what makes a good technology. What am I looking for when I'm testing stuff for my clients? it has to start at $0. Most things obviously have a free trial. It bugs me when there's a 7-day free trial. I need it to be longer than that. My clients need to be able to test it for longer. And then even when the free trial is done, I would really like them to have a free or starter plan that is very affordable for small businesses. That being said, the free and starter plans can't lack all of the good features that the actual technology has. If they give you this no frills plan and they hide away from you all the best features of what that technology does, then it's not worth it. It has to look and feel easy to use, of course. And I think how it looks when you get into the technology is actually a big part of how overwhelmed we feel by using it, how confusing the menus are and the buttons and stuff like that. So honestly, I don't discount how things just look. That's important too. They all have to have great learning resources, because as much as I set up and enable my clients' systems to work well for them, I don't want you to have to come to me every time you have a question. I want you to know that that resource, that piece of technology has an online learning community, has templates, video resources and how-tos to know that they're really educating their users. And finally, I always keep in mind, even if you're a one-person business right now and you come to me asking for an email marketing platform recommendation, I'm going to make sure that that email marketing recommendation I'm giving you might make sense 3 years, 5 years down the road, when hopefully you're 5 or 10 times bigger than you are when you come to me. I don't want you to have to switch technology like next year, right? All right, so let's get into it. Part 1 is about tools and tips for making the most of technology for marketing and sales and getting more customers. So here is the tech tools in 4 main marketing categories. You know, it could go way beyond this, but I'm trying to think of the first 4 areas you might need in your first year or 2 of business. Or for some of you, maybe beyond. Maybe you only checked 3 of these off the list, and now you're a couple of years in, you need the 4th category. So website builders for people who are just starting out, I do recommend Wix or Squarespace as the big 2 players in the market that I find fairly easy to use, fairly affordable, but also very powerful in what they can do for you as your business grows. So website builders are actually the more expensive of most of the tech tools that I'm providing today, because they almost never have a fully free plan. And the starter plan is always going to charge you a little bit. And between Wix and Squarespace, they range about $15 to $25 a month. But we know the website is pretty foundational to what we need for our businesses, right? In content creation, I'm going to show you that little logo with the N in it is Notion. If you use Notion, please drop in the chat. Basically, it's a one-stop shop. This is the one I'm going to demo for you. I really like to use it for brainstorming marketing content ideas, especially the AI features. That's what I'm going to show you live in my account today. Many of you probably know Canva as the easy to use, easy to learn graphic design software out there on the market. Canva is also pretty affordable, and the AI and automation features Canva has come out with this year are best in class. So there's some really cool stuff happening over on Canva. These will range you $0 to $19 a month. I think you can get away with the free plan on both of these tools for a long time, actually. In the social media world, you might know about names like Hootsuite or Sprout Social. If you've ever worked in marketing, PR, social, those are the big players in North America. But a kind of third big player that I like a little bit better is Buffer. And that is because Buffer actually has a free plan that you can get away with for a little while if you use primarily one social media channel. Then it charges you when you add more social media channels to the platform. But Buffer is your way to manage all your social media in one place, schedule it for weeks or months ahead of time. And it too has some new AI features that can give you inspiration and insight based on how your posts have been performing. Then we get into email marketing world. This is where I have a bit of a bias because I love email marketing. I'm sure many of you have heard the big player out there is MailChimp, especially since they got bought by QuickBooks and Intuit QuickBooks in the last year or so. Now, I can't say bad things about MailChimp. They've got a lot of good automation and AI as well. However, I find clients actually haven't loved their experience with MailChimp all the time. So a couple years ago, I went looking for an alternative and I found MailerLite, which is what I do my email marketing on. It's slightly more affordable than MailChimp, and I find it actually easier to use and easier to teach my clients, especially when it comes to designing emails the way you want to design them. And so email marketing, sometimes you can get away with the free plan for a little while. I think MailerLite, you can get away with it until you hit like 500, 1,000 contacts. Then it's only going to run you about $12 to $22 a month. All right. So in these 4 categories of marketing and sales, I'm going to give you some examples of what AI automation and AI could look like within these platforms. And I hope that these examples show you that AI and automation are actually in like the simplest little tasks. It's not this big overwhelming web of opportunities all the time. So the website, the first thing I always want to automate for my clients, if they haven't done it already, is automate what happens when someone fills out a form on your site to contact you or to make a purchase or whatever. What happens after that? Who emails them? What software emails them? What task is put in your calendar to follow up with them? Those are all little automation opportunities. On your website, the easiest AI feature I could think of right now, actually, it's not easy because you have to know your customers well enough to know what frequently asked questions they might have. But once you know some of the frequently asked questions, then you can program an AI chatbot that's going to learn your customers, learn your brand language and tone, and be a fairly easy add-on to your website. In content creation, I'm going to show you how to use AI to help you with inspiration, ideas for blog content, social media content ideas. When you're really feeling writer's block, that really helps me get unstuck. In the AI for sales world, I would ask AI to help me with cold prospecting. Like if I need a list of potential partners or potential clients or 10 chiropractors in my area or 10 blog posts on chiropractic, then that's what I would use AI for. In social media, I mentioned Buffer's version of automation is just to schedule and send out your posts without you really needing to lift a finger. So you can schedule 10, 20, 50 at a time, and then it's kind of just automatically working in the background for you. Canva, the AI features, I could do a whole session on those. If you literally just Googled Canva AI features that have launched this year, there's a lot of really cool stuff. I'll give you an example that I had a client that had a really nice little headshot from his last job in sales. It looked great, but he was wearing a t-shirt. And now he's launching his mortgage broker business for the first time. So I was helping him create email marketing and social posts and stuff like that. I wanted him to be wearing a different shirt. So I made AI give him a couple different shirts, and we got him in a nice little collared shirt, a navy blue one, a white one, stuff like that. I was able to change how the whole headshot looks and feels without actually changing his face. I didn't modify his face. So yeah, Canva AI can help you manipulate images to make them look the way you want them to look, remove objects from images, easily resize. So if you create one design that you want resized for every social media and email headers and your website, Canva can do that in moments that used to take designers a really long time to do. And just like Buffer and a lot of AI out there, Canva can just help bring you some inspiration. If you're feeling stuck, you can ask AI what to do, what to write, what to design. Now, email marketing is kind of like the original automator in marketing. Like when nothing else was automated, emails were the first thing to really get automated. So my favorite thing to do, lots of people will have an email automation that goes off after someone fills out a form on your website. If your website form says contact us, then the email says, hey, we got your inquiry, we're going to follow up real soon. Or it's going to look like a personalized email from you. Another idea I bring to a lot of my clients, though, is after that, you probably have a pool of leads or prospects that have never actually booked with you or bought with you or booked a call, and they're just kind of sitting there useless to you, right? Well, I like to create automations that continue to educate those folks about what you do, why you're different, stuff like that. Then I can also set up programs that like score them based on, are they actually opening your emails? Are they clicking your emails? Well, then we can make an automation that tells you to follow up with them because they've been actually actively looking at your emails. So yeah, that's the example right there, is if they request info, but they don't become a customer, send them 1 to 3 emails. We're not looking to harass them long-term and force information at them, but I take what's on your website and I make it more digestible for them through bite-sized emails because they won't take in all the information that's on your website. All right, so no one here used Notion, eh? No one came in the chat. I thought there might be one, and I'm about to blow your mind. That's even better. I'm really glad no one uses Notion. So let's get into it and I'll show you what Notion is all about. Oh, Teresa has, of course. You don't count Teresa. Okay, so can you guys see my new screen here showing you Notion? Yes, thank you. So you can actually see my home base on the left side here. Oh yes, I see Patrice has her hand up. That means there's a question in the chat. Okay, Dwayne, yeah. So buying email lists is actually like a little bit dangerous because there is something called the Canada anti-spam legislation here in Canada. So we need people to really opt in to receiving email marketing messages from us. The gray area of this, though, is that if someone's information is legitimately public data, think about your local MPs and how their phone number, email, office is right out there on the public domain, then that's a little bit different. They are a public servant. You can pull their information. Similarly, like mortgage brokers, like I just mentioned, obviously, if you Google all the mortgage brokers near you, all of their information will be out there in the world. If you wanted to message them for partnership opportunities on a one-to-one basis, then that's not considered spam or even sales. But trying to mass email big lists of contacts usually goes against the anti-spam legislation. So we do need to be careful with that. All right, so this is my Notion, and on the left side, you can see my reply all. I'm not going to click in here. These are all my trade secrets. This is all my goals for 2024. I call this my second brain because I read a book on how you need a place to put all of the ideas to get them out of your head. So this is where I do all my plans. For the purposes of this demo, I'm going to pretend that we have all just started a pet supply company together, okay? All 33 of us are running a pet supply company. We don't have a marketer, and so we need some help with marketing ideas. So after trying it for free, I purchased Notion AI for only $10 a month so that I could use AI unlimited. You can try it for free for a while before you have to pay for it. All I have to do is press space to start asking AI something. And I'm going to say, what should I post on Instagram for my pet supply company? And it's going to start to generate all these ideas for us. And it's going to start kind of short, and you can tell it, AI, I need more than that. Tell them to make it longer. Oh no, then this that I just clicked is actually going to make the individual points longer. If you want them to like, yeah, you'll see, that's just like more words to say the same things. You can get them to continue writing, I believe. Oh no, this has glitched up for me, actually. It's hard to get them to just like continue the idea they just had. I've also done this to do, give me a list of the top 10 dog influencers on TikTok. I did it for Instagram and it pulled it. So let's see if it knows TikTok. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. Now we can go partner with the top 10 dogs on TikTok. We can try to reach out to them. I've also done this for sales opportunities. So like that's marketing, right? That's like content planning and generation and stuff like that. For sales opportunities, I've come over here and said, list me dog food brands made in Canada. We're a pet supply company. Maybe we don't sell food, so we want to try to get in touch with the top dog food supply companies. Add these companies' headquarters and phone numbers. Let's see if it can do it. Okay, close. Yeah. There we go. It did it. Alyssa, are you screaming right now? I see you. I see you. She's blown away. All right. The thing I actually struggle with as a marketer is I can have actually all the short form ideas in the world. What is hard for me is long form blog posts. So write me a 500-word blog on the most important things someone should know before they adopt a puppy. It's going to go and go and go. And now I have to give the caveat that I don't want all of you going out there just using robots, because then we're going to have an internet full of things written by robots. Like, we're all scared of that. We don't want that. So I would never publish this blog just as is. I would use this as a starting point, use AI as a starting point to get you through some creative blockers, and then edit it yourself and add your own tone of voice the best you can. But yeah, what a time saver for coming up with marketing ideas. Yes. Okay. I'm so glad you asked, Liz, because again, I could do a whole session on this. But let me show you very quickly what templates Notion has. So these help really get you started in planning your Notion spaces and also getting to know what's possible. So you can do your to-do lists and schedules in here. You can do project management boards like, I wonder if they have a Kanban here. Okay, it won't let me click that because I'm in a template. But if you have trouble organizing your tasks, or like you're doing it in another platform like Monday or Asana, which again, I won't say anything bad about those platforms. They're just not as free as Notion is. So that's why I go to Notion. When I first started learning about Notion, it was a company I worked for was using it as an internal wiki to train staff. So if you want to start documenting your standard operating procedures, your strategies, stuff like that, then this is a good place to have all these documents laid out in one place. And I'm going to talk to you about client relationship management tools in the next section. But you can actually also turn Notion into a client relationship management tool. So you know the people you've booked discovery calls with, how much they're worth to you, where they're at in the funnel, have you sent them a proposal yet? These are key features of not a project management tool, yes, but a customer relationship management tool. How does it AI your SOPs? I haven't tried it for that, to be honest, Sara Peel. So we might need to try that out or think about it. But we would need to give it enough data on some of our standard operating procedures, and it would then expand on those for you. Like, I don't think AI could actually track and monitor like how we do our work and then record it for us, at least not in Notion. Maybe there's another app that probably does that. All right. Was that the question, Patrice, or you got another one? Okay.
No, it was Liz's earlier regarding AI. Is it part of Canva? I'm sorry, part of the free Canva. The
Oh, is that
AI
up
part
there?
of
Oh,
Canva.
yes. I believe that you can try AI on Canva for free, but of course they do want you to pay for it after that. And I think it's another $10 add-on to the $10 plan, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Sara. Like, Wiki would be, I don't know, just a holding place for all your internal documents if you were going to onboard somebody. That's what I meant by a wiki. Standard operating procedures. If I have time at the end, I might talk about them. I do have a tech recommendation for that. But let's get back into it. because we are going to talk about, weird, why do I see Daisy in there? Oh, maybe Daisy, you have access to my slide deck. All right, so part 2 is about happier customers, but also easier projects for you, because I think they go hand in hand. So we're going to talk about PMs and CRMs, which are acronyms for project management tools, and customer relationship management tools. Here they are. So in project management, I just mentioned the names Asana, Monday, or Notion. If you've used Asana or Monday in other companies and you're comfortable with it, go with it. It's still very affordable. I just think Notion does a little bit more, and you can do the free plan for a little bit longer. In client relationship management, I just showed you that Notion can do it. My favorite is actually Streak. If you use Gmail, I'm going to show you this in the video demo portion. Streak is a CRM that adds right on to your Gmail. So you're not logging into another system to look at your client information. It's all right there. If you're already using Gmail, it's great. I bet there's a Microsoft equivalent. I just don't know it right now. For managing calls and communications, I'm sure you all know, if you're getting comfortable with video calls, there are a lot of add-ons coming out on the market that sit in on your video calls. In fact, Fireflies is on this call right now, and I did not plan that. So Fireflies is recording our call, and not only is it going to give the entire transcript of what we talked about, but what I really like about these AI tools is I don't care about what every person said in the meeting. I just care about the synopsis and the calls to action at the end of a meeting. And that's what Fireflies and some of these other AI tools are really good at doing. And so imagine if you're in a service-based business like mine, and in your discovery calls, you ask 5 or 10 questions, and you're furiously trying to write down what your potential client is saying. I was doing that all the time, and now I don't really have to, because AI helps me remember everything we talked about and remember those important opportunities in our possible projects together. Now, Loom is also pretty service business based, but I am crazy for Loom. If you add me on LinkedIn, I post Loom videos every so often, and people are like, what is this platform? And yes, Asha, you do get the slides, Patrice? Yes. Yes, you do get my slides, Asha, yeah. And the recording. So Loom is how I avoid unnecessary meetings with my clients. So if I need to present something to them and we're going back and forth 100 times trying to figure out what time we can meet, instead I can film a Loom video, and it's just like a presentation. It's got my little face in the bottom of it, and I'm screen sharing and I'm walking them through what I've built for them. Oh, Erin Wood, hi, I didn't know you were here. That's so nice. So Loom is how I really avoid that wasted time of explaining things to clients on a 30 or hour-long call, when I can actually summarize the project I've completed for them in Loom in about 10 minutes. Then Loom AI will also do the transcribing and the summarizing to make it even easier if my client needs to skim the video. Now, some of us need to manage a lot of files in our business. Again, a bit of a service-based business problem. And much of what we do, we can keep in Google Drive and keep it organized and have it all in the cloud accessible to us at any time. But if you have actual contracts, hopefully you do, especially after the legal contract session this week, which was really good, by the way. If you have contracts, if you have things that people need to sign, it's a little bit harder and cumbersome to keep them in Drive. It's a bit better to have a platform like DocuSign. And DocuSign isn't just capturing their signatures and keeping it on file and keeping it private. It's also got some AI features and automation opportunities to send these contracts out automatically, to remind your clients that they haven't signed the contract, to even auto-generate contracts. If all you need to do is change the name and business name and date on a contract, then DocuSign's got some cool features to just do that for you. These are little things that can save you just 30 seconds every time you need to send a contract, but it really adds up when you're just so busy. You have hundreds of contracts to send out. Oh, I'm so glad so many people are on Loom. This is cool. Okay. Fun fact, I won a loom contest and I have all this loom swag here. I should have worn it. All right, so some AI or automation inspiration when it comes to project management or client management. In project management, the best automations are just the ones that keep you on track with your tasks. Or when you hire your first staff, if you have some staff, it keeps them up to date on their tasks, keeps you updated on what they're doing. These are all little automations that just keep everyone abreast of the operations of the business. Oh yes, Eric, ClickUp almost made my list as well. It was very hard to choose project management systems. Thank you. ClickUp's great too. All right, so similar actually to the point above, some of the best features in CRMs are just the follow-ups for keeping me accountable to when I need to follow up with people who I owe proposals to, if I'm getting behind on anything. These are the kinds of things I think can really weigh on our brains, especially when they just live on Post-it notes. But if we have a system that's a bit of a second brain, bringing us those reminders on a Monday morning, I think that's game changer. Oh, then within this, AI can also help you write your emails. If you're really tapped on a Friday and you don't want to write follow-up emails to your clients, you can get AI's help to do some of those. I already mentioned this, but an app like Fireflies, and there's a whole bunch out there. Lots of people talk about motion. I have a thing or two against motion. It's fine. You can ask me about it another time. Then AI will summarize your meetings for you. And then, as I mentioned, managing docs, DocuSign can do some pretty cool things now. And all of these features are just this year. So just imagine what's going to come out next year. They're always making tiny tweaks to technology to make it work better for us. Yes, Gregory, I use Calendly as well for my business. And Google Calendar actually also has its own meeting booking option now, if you guys want to look that up. It's free. The only reason I'm still on Calendly is because you can have different lengths of events, whereas on Google meetings or appointments, I haven't figured out all that customization yet. It seems a little bit more limited. But Zcal as well. Thank you, Gregory. All right, so I want to show you Streak. I want to show you what I'm using in my Gmail inbox right now to keep me organized. And I think this video is like a minute and a half.
A pipeline looks like a spreadsheet, but it can actually do a lot more. In fact, it's the main tool we'll use to manage our workflow in Streak. This pipeline is for tracking sales leads, but we also have a pipeline for customer success, support, content, and hiring. Pipelines are completely customizable, so we can use them to track anything. At the top of the pipeline, we can see our stages and how many things are currently in each stage. Each stage represents a step in our process, like incoming leads, contacting leads for the first time, pitching them, and so on for each action that we take with a sales lead. If we're tracking something else, like a hiring pipeline, we would have stages that represent each candidate's interview process. When we complete an action, like reaching out to new leads, move each lead to the next stage to keep track of where they are in your process. You'll notice the numbers at the top of our pipeline update to show how many boxes we currently have in each stage. The goal, of course, is to move our boxes through our pipeline to the right. Next up are pipeline columns. All of the information that we want to track about our leads gets stored in these columns. We can choose what information to track in our pipelines, like whether or not our lead is interested in training, which products they want to buy, or when the deal is expected to close. Some columns even magically fill in data for us, so we have tons of useful information in our pipeline.
All right, that was just a quick little preview there. Oh, and it's going to give me trouble with closing it. Exit. Great. So what I really like about that is not only is it organizing it by stages, so again, I'm remembering who I didn't follow up with, who I haven't sent a proposal to yet, who still owes me money. Those are all stages in the pipeline. But those columns that it showed you that auto calculates stuff like how many days has it been since you guys last talked, or who's the last person in this thread who sent an email. Those are things that have been really helpful to me. Beyond that, There's mail merge opportunities in this app. You probably know there's limits on how many emails we can send from Gmail every day, how many emails, how many people we can send in an individual email to. I think it's 25. So if you need to send to 50 people and you don't have an email marketing platform yet, you can do mail merge here. You can do some personalization too, like, hey, first name, and it'll auto-populate for you, or like, I had a great time meeting with your company, and then Streak will remember who these people are. Smart notifications is setting up some of those automations to remind me what to do. Open tracking, this blew me away that this is included in Streak for free. So this little eyeball down here tells me that they opened my email, and they tell me how many hours ago they opened my email too. It's crazy. That's not free on any other software. That's like a premium feature. Then there's email templates. So they're called snippets. That's this little thing you see on my inbox here. And that's like when I send a feedback request to my clients after a project is done, that's just a quick one-liner snippet email that I customize a little bit, but it's nice to have that templated. Again, if I'm feeling really tired on a Friday and I don't want to compose a whole email, then snippets help me fill in the blanks. Oh, it wants to play again. Okay. Now we're into managing money and getting paid a little bit faster. So let's talk about the caveat at the top of this. This is not financial advice, and you should not take financial advice from a marketer. That would be very silly. This is simply a list of apps. That being said, my last job was for a big accounting software that had 1,000 apps that plugged into it and were all designed for small businesses. So that's part of why I know so much about the app ecosystem in Canada. The app I worked for was Xero. So that's another little disclosure here is I am biased, but I'm not demoing Xero today. I'm barely recommending them to you. I'm going to show you Wave because that's where I started when I was a freelancer. And Xero's the company that laid me off in March. It's fine. Everything's fine. I do love them. It's a great platform. But really, you need to start with a business bank account. You know, that's really important for a small business owner. I was very resistant to it. Yeah, Aaron Wood got laid off with me and 2,500 other people. So we're fine. We're thriving. It's great. So business bank accounts, I was really resistant to it when I first started as a sole prop because I like my money to be like in one place. I didn't want to spread it across different banks and accounts. I can personally say getting a business bank account this year when I incorporated and went full time made it so much easier to organize my finances. I'm very, very glad I did that. Then you add an accounting software to the mix and it just levels up your game because aside from like making your future accountant happy at tax time or making tax season easier, why I love my accounting softwares is the fact that it can kind of show me some cash flow projections to show me what my next month or two at least looks like. Then there's apps you add on to get further financial projections. Then also to look back and see how far you've come and start to track the highs and lows of your business. Like that really happens in accounting software. So this too is one of the more expensive apps to add to your business stack at $20 to $30 a month usually. The reason I'm demoing Wave for you today is because it is free aside from the processing fees that they'll take off the top when you invoice a customer and when they pay you. Yes. Oh, Charles Liu, my local accountant just across the road from me says Wave is good. Thank you, Charles. Take accounting advice from him. And Gregory says the no fee business bank account. I wasn't going to mention it, Gregory, but I'm glad you did because I talked about it at the brewery event on Monday and all of us were using the BMO digital e-business bank account because it's cheap. And if your expenses are all like subscription based and online, then it's a pretty good one. All right, so the other accounting softwares you should know about, I mentioned this here is Wave, then there's Xero. QuickBooks is the dominant big player on the market. Working for Xero, I heard a lot of bad things about QuickBooks, but I know a lot of accountants love it. I'm pretty sure that my friend Charles here loves it. So a lot of accountants use QuickBooks. And then FreshBooks is another fairly new player in the last 5 years or so in Canada that I know particularly specializes in freelancers and creatives. Now, when you get into the accounting world, though, there are a lot of add-ons that can help your accounting softwares work even better for you, do even more. So I'm mentioning some of them here. Like WagePoint is for when you need to start running payroll. That's a Canadian payroll solution. HubDoc plugs into Xero and QuickBooks, I believe, and it captures your receipts and PDFs for you, reads them, like pulls the information out, and then makes sure it's accurate in your accounting systems. And Stripe is one that I use that allows me to offer more payment methods to my customers. So they can do a whole bunch of different currencies, a whole bunch of different payment platforms, card, debit, PayPal, whatever they want. Most things are processed through Stripe now. And Stripe is $0, just charges the processing fees again. I think a lot of these types of apps do that. HubDoc is free. WagePoint gets expensive because you're hiring now. And so payroll is a little bit more expensive. Yes, Aaron Wood knows the HubDoc world. Okay, so AI and automation inspiration in the accounting, finance, managing your money, invoicing your customers world. I'm immediately going to cross out AI because I don't think you want AI managing your money. Not yet. I haven't heard anything about that. That being said, a lot of these apps are automating some of the financial data without you even really noticing. So in business banking, you guys probably do it in your personal banking, set up those automatic bill payments and direct deposits, and just let your bills run without you needing to sit down at your computer every single week. Oh, I also do transfers so that every time I get an invoice paid from a client, I make sure that I'm automatically saving enough for taxes, putting some in a spot for my dividends, and another is just my profit account. The accounting session earlier today went over that in better detail than I can, so go watch that one. In the accounting tools, they can set up recurring invoices for your clients, invoice schedules, reminders on invoice payments to your clients. This is a big problem for small business owners. We knew this data at Xero, that this is the biggest stressor on small business owners is late invoice payments and having to chase clients. And a lot of these accounting softwares will do that work for you. What I really like, I learned a lot about this world at Xero, is that accounting softwares can now get really smart about recognizing your common expenses and coding them properly for your accountant or bookkeeper. So that may sound very jargony to you right now, but the fact that my Xero account now recognizes all my monthly subscriptions to my technology and knows which ones are marketing costs, which ones are purely subscriptions, it just saves me that little bit of time in labeling all my expenses on a monthly basis. And it starts to recognize vendors too. Like if you're always buying from Zoom, then it'll know what Zoom is. Thank you, Chantel. See you later. Oh, she private messaged me. You guys can't see that. Okay, so yeah, add-ons that I mentioned, the tools that can scan your receipts. If you're the type of business owner that's on the job all the time, on the run, a contractor, these apps that can scan receipts, pull out the vendor information, the cost, the tax, everything, and start to code that for you automatically. Imagine all the time that could save you on all the receipts that are probably sitting in your work truck right now. So I'm going to show you Wave in a very short video. This is although I'm on Xero now, Wave is what I used when I was just a freelancer doing it kind of casually on the side. And I found it really easy to invoice my customers. It accepted a ton of payments. The reports were really cool on cash flow and profit and loss month over month. And they did recently add something that I don't think you can see here, but you can hire a Wave professional right from the platform. You can do that with Xero and QuickBooks as well if you need to find professional help that's associated with your software.
Your Wave dashboard gives you access to tools and data that'll help you manage your money like the boss you are. Come on, we'll show you around. Once you log in, the dashboard is the first page you see. You can access the dashboard at any time from the navigation menu. Let's walk through its features together. The cash flow chart shows you the money coming in and going out of your business, and the net change. The profit and loss chart below shows you your income and expenses per month. FYI, the charts on the dashboard are accrual-based, which means your invoice sales are shown in the month the invoice is dated, not the month you get paid. The payable and owing section of the dashboard shows you invoices that are coming due and bills you need to pay. At the bottom of the page, you can see your net income from your previous 2 years, and a chart with a breakdown of your expenses. Under Things You Can Do, you can easily add more custom.
I'm going to stop us right there. I think we've seen enough, and I want to make sure we have some time for questions. Oh, this is the wrong screen. Let me get the presentation back for us. Where am I? Not this one, not this one, not this one. I've lost it, guys. We're almost done. All right. So we talked about these, we talked about
Your wave.
wave, and now we're already at my conclusion. So I hope that you feel and understand that tech might just be the key to a successful business, especially in our generation. And it can be more affordable and manageable and easier than you think. Drop in the chat how you're feeling about tech now. If you need help, that is what I do. I want to empower you to be able to set up tech yourself. But if you're like, girl, I just need a quick fix, can you come in and help me? I offer 1 day and half-day packages that I can get you set up real quick. Amal, thank you so much. That's so nice. And if you need help, but you don't have any money, then there is a program called the Canada Digital Adoption Program that you need to go Google right now, because you can apply to get a $2,400 grant, up to $2,400. And the whole purpose of this grant is to implement new technology to be able to grow your business. So I think we're really lucky that we have this opportunity. All right. If you have questions now, we have 7 minutes in this little room. I'm here to answer them. If you want to take down my email, it's hello@reply-all.ca. If you want to add me on LinkedIn, I'm Sara Norton on LinkedIn. And yeah, I would love you to drop in the chat how you're feeling about tech now that this is done. Thank you, Eric. Alyssa, thank you. Thank you.
Quick question for you, Sarah.
Yes.
Have you heard about Zoho?
Yes.
And what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so Zoho, I find it actually like quite hard for beginners to use. Zoho is an incredibly powerful platform that I've used with enterprise businesses, like really big businesses. Yeah, I just find it's harder for beginners to use.
Like more complicated?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then lastly, thank you so much. This was like very insightful and very valuable. Like
So
makes like all
glad.
the things that was on my checkbox, like to do research, I did like on this like hour. So that helped me like identify, okay, which one should I go for?
I'm so happy. That's so good.
Yeah.
Thank you so
So
much.
thank you so much for being generous with your knowledge and
Of
with what
course.
you know. Thank you.
Anytime. I do free 30-minute calls too. If you have like niche questions, I love to just chat about marketing and tech. And then if we get to work together after, amazing. If you just are empowered by a 30-minute chat with me and get to go do it yourself, then that's cool too.
I might definitely take up your offer on that, because when you said like yeah, my personal experience this year was I got laid off twice.
Yeah.
The most recent one was before my birthday, so I'm gonna take up your offer on that.
Yes,
So, yeah.
ma'am. This is actually like how I ended up doing this is when Zira laid me off. Aaron Wood knows this. They laid us
Yeah.
off with notice. So we still worked for the company for another 4 weeks. What I did
Right.
was set up these groups of everyone who was laid off for us to talk about our business ideas and start to help each other out and empower each other. And that's when I learned like, oh wait, I actually know a lot of these like apps
Yeah.
and I should share this knowledge more if it helps people start up their businesses and I can be a bit of a
Exactly.
cheerleader for people. Then
Yeah.
that really like it got me through the layoff was just talking with
Yes.
people about their business ideas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And sorry, I mean to just to add on to that, like I never like I think like that getting fired gave that fire in me to really push for like what I really passionate about. And like you, similar to you, like I won't even know like this technology and tools that we can use these days, that I feel like we're very fortunate to have that. So
We
and
are.
also like we go to like, you know, the people that rally with you. So and it's
Yeah,
nice to pay it forward too. So yeah. Thank you. Thank you
exactly.
so much.
Of course. And I know Aaron, I think it's Aaron Wood had a question up there about standard operating procedures. So yes, I knew I just added it to this landing page. Scribe is really cool. I think it's Scribe How is the actual URL. Yeah. So scribehow.com. When you start a session on Scribe, Aaron, it'll follow everything you're doing on screen step by step and create a standard operating procedure when it comes to like a step-by-step task. So I tested it here to do step-by-step guide to editing a website in MailerLite. And if I ever needed to onboard a staff to do this, then they would be able to just follow exactly all my actions and little screenshots of what I did.
Okay, I'm going to stop there just for a moment, Sarah.
Yes.
One, because we're almost at the end, and I know there are a few more questions, but just taking a moment to say thank you very much. I'll end the recording, and if anybody else wants to, speak, we can speak afterwards. But I wanted to take this time to say thank you again, and to all those who attended and have experienced Do It in Durham this week. Please continue to share about it, and also to share that the resources like Sara is subject matter experts, people are out there to support you in your journey, including the Business Advisory Center of Durham. We're a small business center, one of many across Ontario. So reach out to us as well if there's any way we can help. We're more than happy to. Sara, thank you again on behalf of all of us. And thanks again to our amazing sponsors who helped make this happen. So I will end recording now. And to those of you who've not yet subscribed to the Business Advisory Center Durham YouTube channel for these recordings and more. Thank you.